Hello everyone, in this video let us talk about adding a comment on an issue and also at the same time adding a comment on a linked issue using ScriptRunner for Jira. So far we have been working with ScriptRunner and we have done or we have learned a lot of things. We have learned how to fetch an issue, we have learned how to fetch the details of the linked issue of a specific issue that is probably linked to maybe 10 or 2 different issues. And when you fetch the details of a linked issue, maybe you also want to do something with them. And I also want to create more videos on basically doing something with your linked issues. And I will be showing you one example today where we will be adding a comment on a linked issue whenever there is a comment added on the main issue that is basically the source of those issues. So it is very simple what I'm trying to do. So if you go back to let us say this specific issue, which is my Android 124, you can see here that this is a story and it has, I believe, few links. So right now this particular issue is showing us 4 links. I'm not sure if all of them are outward link or inward link. I think these 2 are outward links and the last 2 cloned by and is duplicated by these 2 issues are inward links. So if you go back to the original code, I've done few changes in the code. I will talk about those changes, but if I run this, it will return these 2 issues because I believe we are now in this code we are trying to fetch the outward links. So this is same as before, but what I want to do is I want to also work with the comments, and I will of course show you more examples when we talk about linked issues and we talk about let us say you want to auto transition the linked issues. So let us do it step by step. Let us first fetch the comment that is posted on my main source issue, which is Android 124. So right now we have one comment here. Let me add one more comment so that we can see how we can fetch multiple comments. So this is my another comment on the source issue. So when you're working with ScriptRunner, you have these. So basically, you have this comment manager that you need to use to fetch the comments, of course, of an issue. And to use this comment manager, you need to make this import on top, which is .comments.commentManager. At the same time, in the same piece of code, we will be adding a comment maybe on the linked issues. And when you add a comment, you need to fetch the user from which you want to basically make a comment. So the user could be your current user or it can be any user. So let us use current user, the currently logged in user. So these 2 lines, or rather these 4 lines, are the only addition to my previous code where we fetch the outward links and inward links. So let us now start working with the comments. So the first thing that I may want to do is I want to maybe return or fetch the comments on my main source issue. So we already have this issue which is currently holding, or it should return the Android 124. So if I do dot here and if I do control space, I should have different things that I can do with this issue, but let us see if we can have something like comments, like get comments. So you will probably not find anything like get comments. So you need to basically use this comment manager that we are using on top, that we have just declared. So if you type in comment mgr, which is my variable, and if you do control after you press dot, and if you do control space, you have the option to do a lot of things with the comments. So right now we just want to retrieve the comment, and if I see here, this is one option that says get comments, and it will take one input or variable or the parameter that should be the issue. So this should ideally return all the comments on my Android 124. And to verify this very quickly, I can do a return. And if I do maybe run here, it will return me something. And if you're not sure what exactly is this returning, it is most likely an object or a list of different comment objects. So you can basically come on get comments, make sure that your cursor is on top of get comments, and if you do Control J, it will basically open the Atlassian docs.atlassian.com, where you can take a look at the details of this method. So right now you can see here that get comments is basically let me just zoom in a bit. So it is returning a comment type of object or a list of comments, and it will take one parameter, which is an issue. So you can see here that it returns a list of comments, will return an empty list if none found. So this looks all right. It makes sense. So we want to basically retrieve the body, for example. So what we can do further, we can go back to the same statement. If you do dot and if you do control space, you can probably find a body here, because we know that there is a body. So you can't find body here because right now this is a list and we want to focus on one of the comment. So again, you can of course iterate it, or if you're just interested in the latest comment, what you can do dot here again, and let us do control space. So there is something called as, I believe, last. So it will basically retrieve the last element, the most recent comment. And now if you do body, it should return you, it will return the most recent comments body. So you can see here that we now have a comment, and if you want to see what else it can do, you can do control and you can do like control space, and you can return the author, you can return the created date, and a few other things, so which is good. So let us and by the way, if you use body, you can see here that it is returning a string, which is great. So we now have the comment, the most recent comment, and what I can do, I can probably use a variable to basically store this comment. So I can probably create a variable like last comment is equal to this. So this is good. And at the same time, now we have a variable that will store our most recent comment. Now let us also at the same time go to the loop, and I want to basically, so we'll use the same loop where we are working on the outward links, and we want to add a comment on those issues. So we again have to use comment manager. So let us use the same variable that we used earlier, and let us see what we can do. So we have something called as create, and when we create a new comment, you have the option to use this. I mean, you have different ways of adding a comment, but let us use this one, which is create. So basically, this create method is using 4 parameters. Which first one is the issue, then we have application user, then we have string. String is actually the comment, and then you have boolean. So let me explain what is boolean here. So we have to now pass some basically parameters. So the first one should be the issue, and this issue should be the linked issue. So let me just copy this as it is from the loop, because we already have this object l.getDestination object that will actually return, or it should hold the target or linked issue key. Then the second variable was user. So we declared earlier this current user. So let me use this. And then we have to add a comment. Let me, for the time being, add a test comment. And then finally, we have to also use one boolean. So this boolean is nothing but basically when you basically add a comment, you have the option to trigger an event. So there is a comment event that can be listened by a listener, or it can be handled by something else. Maybe let us say your schemes permissions, not permission, but notification schemes. So this will, if you do false here, it will not trigger any any event. So this code looks all right. If we press I removed the return from the earlier statement, and if you do run now, it will return two linked issues, two outward linked issues. And if you go back to the blocks and test here, let us see if we can find those issues linked, those linked issues, and if we can also see whether there is a comment or not. So there is a comment, which is great. So it means the code is working, and all we need to do now is we need to basically make sure that we add the most the most recent comment, which is nothing but the last comment from top. So if you just replace it with the variable, and it works because the scope is there for this particular variable. And if you do a run here now, it will basically pick the last most recent comment from those from the parent, not the parent but the source issue, which is my Android 124. And right now the comment says this is my another comment on source issue. You can now verify. I hope it works. We are trying to do it step by step, and my objective is to, of course, learn myself and also share whatever I'm learning. So when you look at those two linked issues, you have this is my another comment, which is now added from the source issue using ScriptRunner for Jira. So this is really good. I'm able to add a comment, and right now we are adding this comment manually. Of course, we are just using the script console, but this piece of code is a good starting point, as I have been mentioning so far in my all videos, that when you know how to do things with your Jira issues using ScriptRunner, of course, you can then use it. You can use the same piece of code at different places. So usually you may want to add a comment on your linked issues whenever you're working with Jira Service Desk and you have a Jira Service Desk tickets linked with your Jira software tickets, and you may want to add a comment on a transition, maybe as a post function, or maybe there's a listener who will listen for different events, and it will probably add a comment. So adding a comment is one thing. We can also do few other things like not few other things, but a lot of other things like auto transitioning your linked issues if there is a transition on the source issue. So this is something that I will be, of course, doing in my future videos. And this is all I wanted to share today, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you very much.